As the NHL regular season winds to a close, we've seen some playoff matches become set in stone. The Leafs, they'll be playing the Lightning again this year. Good luck to them. However, one very interesting and fluid story is who will take that final wildcard spot in the East. And to me, there's one team that offers the most potential for excitement: the Buffalo Sabres. The question is, can they make the playoffs? Will they do so? We'll talk about that in a second, but first, a brief recap. The Sabres have had an interesting season. I don't think many fans were really expecting a deep playoff push this year, but they've been at times a good to great team this season, with Tage Thompson obviously completely breaking out right now, sitting at 44 goals, but also Alex Tuch completely being a star, Jeff Skinner having one of his best seasons ever after being a whipping boy because of his contract for the past few years, and the team as a whole is exciting and puts puck in the net. They're 4th overall in goals for. However, despite the scoring, they've got a negative goal differential, and a big issue has obviously been the lack of goaltending, at least consistent goaltending. Young star Devin Levi, who will be playing his second game after a great performance against the Rangers the other night, could help solve some of those problems, but he's fresh out of college. But let's talk about the big question that I mentioned. Could Buffalo take that final wild card spot? I say final because I don't really think anyone's catching the Islanders. I personally thought, however, that they weren't going to be making the playoffs when they made the Bo Horvat trade, so what do I know? But let's talk about the three teams most closely in contention. Right now, Florida's in the second spot. Pittsburgh is right there as well with a game in hand and 1 point back. Then there's Buffalo with 2 games in hand and 4 points back. Right now, various betting services are putting Buffalo's playoff odds at anywhere between, I've seen as low as like 5% up to 18%, and I think 18 to 20 is probably right where I would put it as well. Buffalo realistically needs to win at least 5 of their last 7 games, and hopefully this video comes out before their game tonight against the Panthers is a must win in my opinion. However, the problem is Pittsburgh controls its own destiny. Right now, Buffalo does have the head-to-head against Florida, especially if they win tonight's game, but Buffalo needs to not only win, they need Pittsburgh to lose. So let's look at strength of schedule for the remaining teams. Unfortunately for Buffalo fans, I think Pittsburgh probably has the easiest remaining schedule of any of the 3 wildcard contention teams. They play the Flyers, the Devils, the Wild, the Red Wings, the Blackhawks, and the Blue Jackets. 3 of those teams are in the hunt for Bedard and will be looking to lose games near the end of the season, while the Wild, Red Wings, and Devils are a bit more difficult. The Sabres, on the other hand, have a pretty tough schedule. They play the Panthers tonight, as mentioned, that's a must win, but then they also have to face the Red Wings, the Hurricanes, who are great, the Rangers, who are really good, the Devils, who are good, and the Senators, who are also not bad. They then end their season with a game against the Blue Jackets as well, so not really too many gimmies there. Florida also has a pretty tough end of season. They play the Sabres, as mentioned, then the Senators, the Capitals, the Maple Leafs, and the Hurricanes. But again, for Sabres fans, if you're having any semblance of hope for them getting in the playoffs, you'll have to assume that they just beat Florida and they win the rest of their games. What you really need is for the Penguins to also fall, and to be honest, based on how the teams are playing, unless Levi comes in, starts every game, and really steals a bunch for the Sabres, I don't see them hopping the Penguins, especially given the difference in schedule difficulty. So although it would have been very interesting, I don't see it happening. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours down below.